10% of all the new cars sold in Iowa come from the Karl Auto Group. Our neighbors trust us to have the largest selection and the highest standards. To our current customers, thank you. And to our future customers, see for yourself why Karl drives Iowa.
Your dealer for life, it's the Karl way.
Experience the world's largest sports book at your fingertips.
I'm Derek Stevens. I'm a lifelong sports bettor and owner of Circus Sports. We built this platform for bettors that want high limits and total transparency.
Featuring high limits, player-friendly pricing, and exceptional live customer service when you need it.
Hi, how may I help you today?
Download your new bookie today and start betting like a pro.
Circus Sports.
Welcome to Pregame. Iowa State and Arizona getting ready to get after it here at the McHale Center. I'm Chris Williams, joined as always by Jake Brend. We're in the Northwest Bank Studios, presented as always by Karl Chevrolet. I actually had to come down to the media room. I like to do these generally in the arena to give you guys a little bit of a vibe, but it was really loud. I'm right by the band, and it wasn't going to make for great streaming. How are you, Jake? Ready to go?
I'm good. Oh yeah, I'm ready to go. This place is awesome. It has
It's
like
a cool
an NBA,
arena.
It has like an NBA feel to it. Just
And
a very professional feel.
It's also got a little bit of the old arena to it, like the Hilton Fog Allen vibe, like a lot of concrete, that type of thing. It is a neat place. I like coming down here. Real quick, just got these Doug Sermons, Jeffrey Anderson, Roger Ayers officials tonight.
Getting some
here
high knees.
In Tucson. Yeah, well, that's a good group. That's a good group.
That's a good
no
crew.
Padilla. Weren't expecting him, but good group. Listen, I'm kind of repeating myself, but I think Iowa State plays well tonight. I don't know if that is a win. That's a really big ask against this particular Arizona team in this arena. TJ Otzelberger's pretty good at these type of spots.
No doubt.
As a coach. And I also think the matchup is better for Iowa State than some. Outlined this in detail on Williams and Bloom on Sunday night. Talked about it a lot. So let's see what happens. But I'm expecting a spirited but I also want to talk about the basketball portion of this, Jake, and that's the Killian Torrey situation. And I'm going to start right here. I'll throw it to you. Big prove-it game to me for Milan Momcilovic tonight, only in the sense of kind of was a no-show at BYU against an NBA-type guy.
Yeah.
Big moment for him, and we've seen him in certain scenarios where he's like I always think back to like the second half of that Houston game last year, that we've had those Milan moments where he's the alpha dog. We've also seen him in like the biggest moments where he doesn't rise to that occasion depending on, size and athleticism defending him. A lot of size and athleticism with this Arizona team tonight. So that's kind of where I'm zeroing in. I know we got a lot of things to talk about. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, Momcilovic will probably be guarded again by an NBA player. I would guess they stick Koa Pete on him. Pete is going to be a lottery pick. Great player. He's not the level of defender of an A.J. Debance, but he's going to be able to get in Milan's grill and make life difficult. This is on Momcilovic to say, I don't care if my first shot falls. I don't care if the second shot falls. I don't care if it's hard to get to my spots. I'm going to be the man and go and get to my spots. That's what this game is about, because unless Iowa State is able to open things up with Taman Lipsey or Killian Torrey or Nate Heisey hitting threes early, of course Jamarian Bateman as well, it's going to be really hard for Momcilovic to get easy looks. So it's kind of a double-edged sword where if things aren't going well for the guards, like they did on Saturday, then Momcilovic is just going to have to say, screw it, I'm going to do this myself, and I'm going to take the lid off the basket. And that's, I would imagine, TJ Otzelberger's message to him in a much more fiery, militaristic way, and I hope we see that early.
And there's also, like, they'll be up for this game. All these guys, for the most part, were here last year where we all know what happened. You made a good point. When we were walking to the arena today, you were being a little bit overzealous, but you said it felt like the season ended here a year ago. And
in hindsight, yeah.
You know, and clearly, like, that's a big statement, but there was a bit of that feel. Like, I do agree with you. It felt like things certainly changed at this place last year. The problem is, you know, Arizona's really good. So to just be like, oh, it's I was just on a Vegas gambling show with VSiN, and they just look at everything analytically, which is why that's why I pay attention to point spreads and stuff. It's not a gambling thing. It's because of the analytics, the data. It gives you an objective view at these types of things. And it is a great spot tonight for Iowa State. They blow out Kansas, you know, and Iowa State is, you know, you get your butt whooped at home, all these things. But then there's still the basketball problems that Iowa State has. And, you know, your emotion can only get you so far. So what do you think has to happen tonight if Iowa State – I think they got to go out and hit 10-plus threes.
I would agree. Probably half of those from Milan, and then have Jefferson, Heisey, Taman, Bateman make up the other 5 at least.
Where do you fit Torre into the mix if you're TJ tonight? Because he addressed this after the game.
Yeah.
This isn't just talking heads making a story. It's clearly an issue. Is this play him 15 minutes, play Bateman more? Where do you think they go?
I mean, I'm going to assume he's still in the starting lineup. I would be shocked if they changed that. And I think you give him a short leash. If he starts the game and gets a couple deflections, maybe a steal and a dunk the other way, keep him in, let his confidence grow. But if he doesn't have it, you have to play an A-plus game to win in this building. There's no way around it. And you can't really afford a player to be a negative for extended periods of time. So Killian Torrey is so competitive, and he wants to be out there, and he wants to play hard and make these plays. He's just going through a confidence issue right now. And if that confidence issue isn't fixed 4 minutes into this game, you just go heavier on Heisey, heavier on Bateman. That's the big thing, is Bateman has come on defensively, that it's not as big of a drop going from Torrey to Bateman as it was 3 months ago. Like, it's still a drop. Torrey's still the best on-ball defender on this team, but is that trade-off worth playing 4-on-5 on offense, as much as I hate to say that? And I don't think it is.
Yeah, I'm watching for the starters here to see if it does come across. They have not been posted yet. I would be really surprised to make a starting lineup change on March 2nd.
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer in, and I kind of went off about this. If you guys didn't hear, if you did hear the Sunday show, I'm sorry, I'm repeating a lot, but I truly, like, we get so much of the overreaction. Oh, you got to change the switch defense and all. No, you do what you do at this point, and they do it really well. They're 24-5, and that's why I have a hard time just being like, all right, Torrey, you're done. No, that's good analysis. I think you let him start and see how it goes. We saw in the Houston game, he hits the 3 early. He's insanely effective, right? And you have an opportunity to do something like that again. But I do think if it doesn't work, you've got a real opportunity with Bateman, and he's ascending, right? This isn't like some of these teams in the past where you don't have the other options. They've got 2. And Mr. March, Nate Heisey, there you go, buddy. You live up to that nickname. There's options here. So really anxious to see. But he only played 6 minutes of the second half on Saturday, and that was when Iowa State really hit the gas.
Yeah, it's clear there's already been a change. And another thing with Torrey, with Lipsy, with Bateman, with Heisey, you're going to need everything on the glass. Oh, look at that. Look at that timing by Aiden White throwing up Jackson Pence. Biggs have to
I actually did that. That was Chris Williams' production, by the way.
Good work. Thanks, Chris. Thanks for doing Aiden's job. Rebounding is
I think Aiden just flipped you off camera.
Good. Love you, Aiden. But that's the key. You can't give up 20-second chance points. Also, don't get frustrated when there are a couple offensive rebounds because it's just going to happen. Arizona, it's what they do. They are so big and so physical inside. Their guards are so physical, so don't declare the game over 3 minutes in if Arizona gets a putback or something like that, but you have to limit it. And this is a challenge for Blake Buchanan to go out and do what he did Saturday. I thought he was tough as nails on Saturday against Texas Tech, and he was pulling down rebounds left and right. It's up to him. It's up to Dominicus Plata, and I typically know what we're going to get from Jefferson on that end. So those are the two keys. Hit shots, space things out, and finish possessions. Finish possessions, don't turn the ball over because Arizona, they love to run too. And their guards, you remember Keyshawn Gilbert when he was really healthy and felt like he could finish through Shaq if he really wanted to. That's essentially what all of Arizona's guards are like. They can finish through bodies, and they get really efficient shots. They get a lot of shots, and that's what makes them such a tough matchup. So you can't give up a million offensive rebounds, can't hand them the ball 15 times, and you just hope that they don't have one of those nights where they hit a dozen threes because they killed Kansas hitting 4. They killed Houston hitting 3. They've beaten a lot of good teams by hitting 3 or 4 threes this year, so they're a type of team when they hit 8 or 9.
They're almost in this building. They're unbeatable.
Yeah.
To that point, the great point by Pence on the foul trouble thing, and this is also going to be a game where if you're going to win it, I just can't see Iowa State going like 13 of 23 from the free throw line. You're going to have to take advantage. When you say play an A-plus game, that is a part of it. It's somewhere where this team has struggled this year.
And Jefferson's been good the last few games. Feels
Correct.
like he's really taken on that challenge.
It also feels like Taman's starting to find his shot again.
Yeah.
I don't know if the numbers would particularly back that up.
I don't think they do, but
I'm saying in
You're
general,
right.
he's hitting threes at a higher rate. You would hope
that
would transition over. We'll see. I'm not going to say that that's too factual at this point, but that is a thing. The last thing I would make on the Texas Tech game, if you're going to get challenged on the glass, by your head coach, and you get your butt kicked the way that they did, not terrible timing coming into this game because that was always going to be a big talker going into this particular matchup. But now Otzelberger has all of that bad tape from Saturday, and I'm positive he's beating them over the head with it.
No doubt. Go and be nasty. That's the mindset. This team is underdogs for the first time since early December. They've been playing with a target on their back pretty much every single night for over 2 months. And that's really hard to do. It's hard to do for a program that's not used to that. I think they got a taste of it last year, and I think at times they've handled it well this year, and I think at times, especially recently, they haven't handled it well, and they've gotten their butt kicked by teams they shouldn't have gotten their butt kicked by. Now you can go and be the team that has the chip on their shoulder. No one expects you to win. No one's giving you a chance, and that's the mindset. This is kicking Caleb Grill off the team and throwing Conrad Hawley in the game at Waco. If you want to play, go and dive on the floor for a loose ball. Go and do dirty work. Same starters as always for Iowa State. Also same starters for Arizona as well. Jaden Bradley, Braden Burris, Ivan Karchakov, Koa Pete, and Mo Krivas.
There you have it. All right. I'm not going to ask you to make a prediction because that's redundant, but I think we see a really good game tonight. I would, listen, be one of the great wins in program history if Iowa State could win this one tonight. However, I still think Iowa State's really good. I still think if they lose tonight, they could still make a really nice run in the NCAA tournament. But there's basketball stuff that they need to solve.
Yeah.
And you got a really good coach and a really good roster and a great atmosphere tonight. It's going to be really challenging. I just want to see this team take a step where I felt them descending. And this happens. This is college basketball, okay? It's pretty rare to go undefeated, right? I felt them even in the Utah win. It was didn't play great. I mean, you were there. You have a better vibe than I did. And then Saturday, I'm hoping, was the bottom. And then now they ascend, and you can still ascend even with a loss.
Yeah.
That's just where I want to see this team go tonight.
Well, the journalist, the journalist in me sees this as last year. That shot goes in, 1 in a million. I still can't believe it went in. I woke up 3 times that night with literal nightmare. Like, I saw that shot in my vision.
Horrible.
And in one way that you could react to it and be like, well, it's going to make a hell of a start for the 2025 championship DVD. And that did not come to fruition. It didn't even come close. How storybook would it be, though? That Iowa State team was peaking. That Iowa State team was one of the best in the country, and everything kind of unraveled after that. Right now, Iowa State they're crumbling a little bit going into this game. They're still, in perspective, they're still 24-5. They're number 6 in the country, so it's all relative. But how storybook would it be if a little over a year later, this marked, all right, we're turning this around, and this is where the season goes up. We're not letting those demons from last year make this season go down. And if we're talking storytelling, that'd be the way I would write the story. But obviously the ball's got to go through the hoop.
It's a simple game, my friend. It's a simple game. All right, Aiden Wyatt is bringing us our production. Remember, we'll have CF After Dark, the post-game show after my post-game show later tonight. Obviously, Jake and I are both here, so we'll have our complete, normal, beefed-up game coverage.
Should we read Coop's tweet?
Yeah, if you want to read it, go for it, yeah.
Inspiring words from a die-hard fanatic, our buddy Coop. Upon reflection, I've realized today that 2 things I love greatly in life have a lot in common tonight. The Cyclones head into tonight's matchup after a tough loss at home against Tech, one that can cause a froth of frustration to obscure what's solid beneath the surface, but just as a freshly poured Guinness needs a moment to settle into clarity and balance, a team needs time to reflect, recalibrate, and let emotions fall into place. When the Cyclones tip off tonight, the hope is that this pause has allowed them to rediscover their depth, composure, and strength, ready at last to be enjoyed in their prime. Cilantro.
I like the froth of frustration line the best. All right, let's get out there.
If one of those TikTok accounts doesn't put some Irish folk music behind that and make a hype video, then what are we doing?
Love you, buddy. All right, we'll see you guys in post-game.
Later.
Enjoy the game tonight. Later.